Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Cash Flow Kings Live. It's Saturday, 8 o'clock Eastern. Where else would you rather be than right here, right now?
Be
Fiscal,
there,
where
be
can the
square.
people find you?
Indeed. Well. What a week it has been, right?
Indeed. Ozempic is crashing everything.
I'm really shocked that everybody's blaming all the crashing on Ozempic.
If I'm being completely honest, I haven't looked like deeply into it. Do you know what's your expertise on Ozempic and in the broad base of it?
Yeah. It's just like what stocks in particular have been most affected?
Coke, McDonald's, and Pepsi.
Really? Is it
Anything to deal with like unhealthy, honestly.
So they think that people's appetites are gonna everybody's gonna get on Ozempic, lose their appetite, and stop wanting Coke and Pepsi and McDonald's.
Rational market thinking at its finest.
Okay, perfect.
How much do you actually know about the drug itself? Because I just know it's supposed to help with weight loss or whatever. I haven't gone deep.
All right,
into it.
here's the scary thing. Okay, so it was previously a diabetes med, right?
Okay.
All right. Now, my understanding of it is that they found out as like an unintended thing that hey, it also makes people lose weight, and so they applied for approval to use it as a weight loss drug. But here's the kicker: they're not even really sure like exactly why it's effective for weight loss, from my understanding. Like they know that it works, but like can't really pin down exactly the like biological mechanism for it. That's actually the case for a lot of drugs, believe it or not. Like they may have some ideas of why they might be working, but there's a lot of cases where they don't know like fully the mechanism behind why it works or doesn't work for some people. And I also just happen to think that if you take a shortcut like Ozempic, there's no like free lunch biologically for weight loss. Yeah.
So it's simple. Go to the gym and eat good. That's all.
Yeah.
All you gotta do.
Chicken and broccoli and
rice
and chicken, broccoli, rice. Work out 6 days a week and some trenbolone sandwiches, and you're good to go.
Yeah. I'd like to hear that. Yeah, but it's. I know the market's irrational, but this is a little, this is a little over the top. As the kids say.
I mean, is it the real reason, or is it just the reason why like the Jim Cramers of the world are saying everything's dropping?
I mean, you got to look at the volatility of these kind of companies. You know what I mean? Like they've dropped like 12-15% like in the last like 2-3 weeks. I mean, like, and a lot of people are saying that it's due to that, but I mean, I just don't see a scenario where out of nowhere they magically drop companies like that too.
I'll tell you this, I like it because if a company like Coca-Cola drops irrationally to the point where it's actually worth buying valuation wise, I mean, who knows how many years it would be before you see that kind of opportunity again. So like I'll gladly watch these great, stable, high moat businesses drop like a rock for no real good reason so that I can scoop them up on the cheap.
I would like to get into Coke because I'm going to do shameless plug here, but I did make a Coke analysis video this week, and I did a deeper dive into the valuation. And for the growth, like I'm really kind of reconsidering my Coke position. It's not a company that I'm going to sell out of like right now, but it's definitely like, if I were to put that money into a company like perhaps Visa or, a company like Crocs that has a moat, definitely, higher growth opportunities, but it's definitely like, it's kind of opened my eyes, let's say.
So what do you have? Like, what did you come up with for like a basic valuation for Coke?
Pulling it up right now. I believe it was somewhere in the $20 and $30 range. I had $28.02 and $33.05 for my discounted cash flow.
Depending which model you used. Yeah.
Yeah, I used I found out that discounted cash flow is probably the more accurate one out of the two, but I like to get both at least.
Yeah. I want to say like back in the day, maybe a year or two ago, I probably came up with like 34, $35.
Yeah.
I have it watch listed at 45. I basically said, okay, that's what I came up with. But then here's the premium for the, for the moat and everything else. And so it's watch listed at 45. I'll reevaluate it if it ever hits that level, which, hey, the fact it's fallen this much this fast proves it could potentially
Yeah.
hit that level, right? So never say never, guys.
Here's my issue though. My cost per share on it's like $55, $56 right now. I don't know
Yeah.
where it's maybe like 52, 53 right now. I
Mm.
were to sell, it would be a loss, but I mean like $15 maybe. And if that's $670 worth of capital, I'm kind of looking at an opportunity cost, but at the same time, I hate to sell out of a company like Coke. That's one of those, buy and hold forever companies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a
Although
double.
you,
It's two. I got two voices in my head.
yeah, I know you got the angel on the one shoulder and the devil on the other. Um, I don't know. Like, yeah, I think if I had Coke in my portfolio when it was, especially when it was in the 60s, right?
Yeah,
I'd be looking at that saying, man, like, is it really worth this? You know, it would like I don't really like selling either. It's not I view selling out of a position and not waiting for the value to develop like I thought it would. I think that's like I always think of it as being impatient when I
yeah,
think about it myself. But I man, I would have had a hard time if I was coming up with like a 34 or 35 value, holding it when it's at 60 something.
yeah,
That'd be pretty rough.
yeah. That's another thing that I was kind of opened up to because I've never really done like a deep. This week I've been doing like a spreadsheet of just during school. I'll go on a spreadsheet and do like DCF models and DDM models just to kind of get an intrinsic value of where I think I could be trading, then kind of get my own number, kind of price in a premium if I can. It's opened my eyes for sure to a lot of companies. I think Coke definitely being at the top of them. But another thought of mine is potentially trimming my Coke and putting it into Pepsi, where I feel
Mhm.
they're both trading at very similar valuations, but I think
Mhm.
Pepsi has the more growth.
Yeah, and I think honestly, when you look at the things, so obviously when it comes to Coke and Pepsi, if those were their only products, I would go Coke all the way. But
Yeah.
look at some of the other brands Pepsi has, and I think Pepsi has a stronger lineup of other brands. Coke has Coke and
Yeah,
Diet Coke,
and
but
the growth for Pepsi, I think, is much bigger than Coke's, especially with the foods and
with your
food
other
and
brands, yeah,
beverage. Yeah.
yeah, I think that's where the value of Pepsi could be. Um, I mean, they have, especially like in the snacks,
Yeah.
yeah, I think they've got so. I mean, I'm like Coke has some other good brands in their catalog, but I,
Fairlife.
yeah, I think Pepsi's probably, yeah. I love Fairlife actually. I have it in my
That's
refrigerator right now, but I mean, Pepsi owns Frito Lay,
hmm
Gatorade, Quaker,
Yeah, Pepsi is
Tropicana.
solid brands.
Like,
Like,
like I mean, Pepsi is, gosh, like they almost remind. It's almost like they're like a Hormel Foods or a Nestle with like all the different brands that they've got.
yeah, I know what you mean for sure.
Yeah,
I do think I Coke, like, it's obviously, I think the clear path for growth is going to be acquisition and maybe a few in-house brands. Can we
yeah,
agree on that?
yeah, yeah. Some of the brands they have might have room for growth, but yeah, I think maybe international as well.
Yeah.
Somewhat there might be some emerging markets, poor countries that maybe can't afford to drink Coke will in the future, but
hmm
that's going to be slow, like growing at the rate of GDP, basically low single digits. It's not
Yeah.
anything that's going to be blowing anybody out of the water at all.
Unknown says he loves Coke and may say I'm addicted. Hmm. I'd,
I hear you. Me too.
Praying for you, brother. Oh, Frank the ultimate viewer asks if you had to choose only one, Coke or Pepsi. I had to say Pepsi, or like
depends
the company.
Depends on the valuation at the time.
Ooh.
If I can get Coke cheaper, then probably Coke. But
let's assume the valuations are pretty much same.
Pretty much the same. I think the overall business, Pepsi probably has more growth potential. So yeah, if like multiples and stuff are equal, like they're both at like a 20 PE or something like that, I think you have to assume higher growth for Pepsi and go with Pepsi. Even though, as much as it pains me to say that, okay, hurts my soul. But
just laying around here.
Yeah, I think your dollars are probably better off in Pepsi stock.
Yeah, I'll agree with you. Old dividend dude would say Coke, but Pepsi now, and I'm Celsius. Let's take a look at Celsius. I don't have. I guess. Let's see. What's Celsius brands besides the dividend dude? Back me up here. What are Celsius's brands that they own besides just the straight up Celsius? Love Coke more, but yeah. Taking a look at Celsius as a company,
like,
I mean,
your heart always wants to say Coke, but your brain says Pepsi when it comes to that.
Yeah. Celsius, dividend dude, I could be wrong here, but Celsius is right now just gotten them net positive for free cash flow, so I can't.
Nah.
Them on Amazon.
I've seen the Celsius energy drinks and stuff, but honestly, in that arena, I'd be more interested in Monster, but they'd need a pullback in their share price for me to seriously look at them.
Yeah. Drink Celsius. I just don't see like. But if you could say the same for if you're looking for like sports brand or sport drinks, you could say Coke, Fairlife. Coke has the Fairlife. Pepsi has Pepsi has Powerade.
No. Pepsi's Gatorade and Coke's Powerade, I think.
Yeah. My bad. Yes. But it's kind of been selling off like crazy.
And Pepsi also owns Rockstar, which has a lot of energy drinks and such. Yeah.
I just think Celsius could be one of those, I don't want to say trap stocks, but it's very easy to go for the new hot stock on the block. Celsius is a company that has a lot of ambassadors around it right now. It's a fast growing, it's a popular.
Sales is going up fast.
Sales are going up very fast.
And that's, that was Monster, 10, 15 years ago, whatever.
Yeah.
And, that one worked out, but, not every company, new beverage company that comes out is going to have that fast growth and work out the way Monster did.
Yeah. Do you have any companies you're eyeing this week that have been on a significant dip?
Well, I'm working on a Dollar General video right now, actually.
Ooh.
Viewer request.
Going into retail, I see.
Yeah, I mean, not my absolute favorite thing. I think I've got enough retail with Walgreens, but it's definitely like down over 50% year to date, believe it or not.
This guy knows. I'd rather buy VOO than Coke or Pepsi.
Yeah, I mean, you'll probably get a better total return buying VOO than Coke or Pepsi.
Yeah. So Dollar General?
Yeah, mainly for the video. I don't think I'm actually looking at buying it anytime soon.
Unless the viewers voted in the...
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. Once I hit 1,000, you guys do get to decide I have to buy $1,000 worth of whatever you guys tell me, as long as it's a dividend stock with a market cap above $1 billion.
And FAM. It's a great name.
Medifast.
You look at a Medifast.
So, all right, here's the issue. I looked into Medifast maybe 6 or 8 months ago, something like that. I was interested based on the financials. The financials look very good, but they are a weight loss brand.
Oh,
Pretty small market cap. Now, talk about companies that might get hurt by Ozempic. Uh, a company that sells like, diet products that aren't just an easy button for people. I think if people have the option of, oh, this is easy, I just take a pill and I lose weight, versus like, oh, this company has, a line of products and programs and things like that, I think they're probably going to choose the easy button.
so what kind of products does Medifast like sell? Is it
Oh
like
man.
programs, or I've never heard of them until now.
So let me get on their site real quick. It's nothing I would personally use either, but they sell Optavia.
What does that do? I'm a man of
Personally, like
curiosity.
that was one of my concerns with it, is like I wasn't really sure like how effective what they're selling really was. Like there's testimonials and stuff, but I'm really skeptical about like popular weight loss related products. So
Yeah,
I was kind of like, is this a real thing? Is this a scam product that is just a fad right now? Like, Slim Fast was really big at one point, and they still sell it, but like I don't think anybody would want to invest in it.
yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, is Medifast just selling, something that's popular right now, or are their products like going to grow long term? I don't know. I know it looks like they have cratered from the last time I looked at them. Um, honestly, if even with Ozempic being around, if they keep showing growth, that might be a good sign that there is actually something to their products.
Yeah.
But I don't know enough to feel comfortable investing in it, if that makes sense. It just seems like I don't know. Competition in that
Yeah.
in that area can be very, like, something can come out of nowhere and just put you out of business. You know what I mean?
Ozempic, loosen
Right.
some weight. Boom.
I
You got
mean,
10 people.
is anyone else here old enough to remember Hydroxycut?
Why do I feel like I've heard that before? What did
Yeah.
it do?
It was a weight loss pill.
Hydroxy.
Friggin' what's her name? Anna Nicole was on it. She was like a reality show person. She was known for like being some 80-year-old billionaire's trophy wife until he died. And then she got his money and became an alcoholic and did so on her own reality show. And
I
people
think
just kind of,
I think
yeah.
the real competition is GO2 Max.
But anyway, no,
GO2 Max.
but the story of that is like she became an alcoholic, had a reality TV show, got fat, and then used Hydroxycut to get skinny again, because she, obviously if she was a trophy wife, she was kind of a looker, and she probably got paid a lot of money to be in the commercial or whatever, and then she died.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit.
So,
Amen.
and I don't know, but like it seems like people like Hydroxycut kind of like, I don't know, you don't hear about it anymore, and I wonder if that's what killed her.
I want to thank. We got 10 people in here. This is like pretty much a high so far for what we got on here. So we're gonna get 15. So appreciate it first and foremost. A lot of you have probably better things to do than watching us talk about Ozempic and weight loss and how that relates to our stock market investments. But thank you all. If you haven't already, subscribe. Obviously, share the channel with friends, family, and anybody who else wants to come party with us every Saturday night. So, thank
Hell
you
yeah.
very much.
We party hard in here. A lot of Coke.
Yeah,
doing a lot of Coke.
A lot of Coke, a lot of sniffing.
Yeah.
I need to hear a price for Ryan and Fiscal Bite. I am not considering Crocs whatsoever. I
mean, as far as I know, it might be the price right now. I haven't done any kind of like analysis.
14 people. Holy Father, Son, Holy Spirit again. Oh. In all seriousness, though, I need at this point in my portfolio, if I'm gonna add something, it has to be spectacular. It has to be a very high quality company that I see at a reasonable price. I see Nike already at that for that footwear, clothing kind of sector. I'd rather just be in Nike. I like Nike a lot more financially. They have a moat. I think their brand is better. They have buybacks, great growing free cash flow and dividends. So I'm not saying it's not high quality. It's good quality. I want great / amazing quality at this point. And I don't want to hear about the value. So respectfully.
Well, I'll say this. I mean, Crocs might already be at the right price, but I'm not going to sit here and say that I know for sure if I haven't really, taken a real look at it. Analysts certainly all think it's, I mean, the low price target is above the current price. Though, I mean, I don't really respect analysts all that much when it comes to price targets. EPS is expected to be quite good over the next handful of years. I mean, it doesn't look bad, but okay. All right. How about this? If it went below $50, I'd probably have to buy some.
Have to.
Yeah. I don't think I'd be the value investor in me would not be able to resist it at that price. The sirens.
What if something were to fundamentally change in the business?
Well, that's different,
right?
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah. But if it's because of, Ozempic, I'd be, I don't see how Ozempic could possibly be bearish for Crocs, but maybe they take it, they eat less, and they feel too sluggish.
They don't have big enough feet.
I don't know.
All right, this is a good comment that I want to get to from Ann Pham, who's been coming in with some quality comments tonight. First of all, he says fiscal philosophy seems to be in line with the magic formula investing.
Like, oh man, it's funny you say that because I don't necessarily believe that there's like a magic formula necessarily.
Unless you join our Discord, it's like in the description.
Right, the private mastermind aside, there's no other magic formula is what I mean.
Yeah. Unless you're FC Canada too. Moody versus S&P Global versus FICO. Bit of a three-headed giant there.
I would my gut says S&P Global, but that's not really based on any quantitative measurable thing. That's just what my gut says of the three. But it's funny. I've heard of the little book that beats the market, but like I've never really looked into it myself. But you're not the first person to say that my style kind of aligns with that.
Fiscal is the Jesus Christ of investing. Confirmed.
I mean,
Father, Son, Holy Spirit again. How do you guys feel about the railroad such as CP? Somebody just commented about what Joseph Carlson do. Threw me off guard there. How are we feeling about railroads such as CP? I think railroad. I'm liking railroads at these current prices. If I can get UNP at sub 200, I'd be very happy.
Railroads overall are probably going to do quite well for you. I haven't looked at them at current valuations, but you could do a lot worse than betting on the railroads.
Yeah, I'm in UNP over CP right now because one, I think there's a lot more growth to be had with UNP, especially after they got called out basically on that shareholder letter, which I didn't know about before I invested prior, and their growth rates were really solid before the letter. So to think that I'm very bullish on this new CEO, Jim Vena, and I'm more of a UNP guy.
Yeah. There's actually, I want to go back up to Ann Pham. Mentioned Joel Greenblatt. Yeah, I've heard of Joel Greenblatt and the little book that beats the market, but I haven't thoroughly, I've never read really anything in detail, just things I've heard of. So maybe I have to go check that out. Do some light reading.
Yeah. Poor Fiscal couldn't see he couldn't read anything for the last 3 hours after last week's live stream with the sunglasses. So
yeah. They say the first thing to go is your eyes.
Oh, what would Joseph Carlson do? He'd say you're right, he's wrong, or he's right, you're wrong. The PE for S&P is nuts. All right. What's
Yeah, but do any of those three companies, do Moody's or FICO, have low PEs either?
yeah?
Like, is that
Apples to apples here, fellas. Peas,
yeah?
not all. I ran spoiler alert for next videos, for next week's video, but my I got a DCF model on S&P Global. I had it around $500, which was a little high, but I have fair price on it at 390 to 410 for me personally. So I think it's trading maybe 8-10% undervalued right now. And I may have bought some more this week, so you'll have to tune into our buy segment live this week too.
There's a lot going on that.
Yeah, dividend dude's still talking heavy. His philosophy is to buy low PE with high ROIC. World's nicest man Steve is in JTX for railroad. Gatks. Instead of looking at P, look at forward P is the metric that we're gonna turn into a P sellout channel here, but I prefer forward P.
As you know, for old boring companies, PE is all that matters, and for software, only price to sales matters. Nothing else matters.
Yeah. Buy low P, buy low quality. Crocs. I'm joking. Crocs is low PE. Oh, good quality. We'll say. I'm generous. Oh, Fiscal's about to go on a segment here for us. Let the new Walgreens CEO, which he made a video of this week.
Yeah, literally, he's on the thumbnail. I like the fact that he has healthcare experience, mainly because that's really where Walgreens is looking for their avenue of growth. They want to have primary care clinics inside their pharmacies. So if you want to build out like an actual healthcare business and be an operator, you need somebody that knows that space. And the former CEO wasn't really particularly strong in that area. And retail stagnant. You'll be lucky if that grows at 2.5% per year. So I'm encouraged that they have a CEO with 3 decades of leading healthcare related businesses.
I am not. AnFam says they need to pivot healthcare. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
the retail's got to be kind of the part that it's there. It's just there.
There will be some synergy, right? So the clinics being on location will drive additional foot traffic, and it'll also drive traffic to their retail pharmacy, and the pharmacy part is higher margin than the regular retail is. So, and hey, if they want to get their prescription filled after their doctor's visit and then pick up some shampoo or detergent while they're there too, I'll take those increased sales. But I think the actual healthcare business itself is going to be the thing that makes it as far as their future growth. If they don't make that work, I think they'll probably stay stagnant and be just kind of a fossil, stagnant old business that doesn't really grow.
All right. For this next segment, I have 2 topics that I want to talk about that are in relation to the Halloween season. We're getting spooky on the channel here, guys. And the only thing scarier than not subscribing and sharing the channel with friends and family is not doing that. So I got to get a prop real quick for the next gist, and I want you guys to guess in the comments what I'm talking about. I'm Michael Myers. My bidding rights are up for sale. All right. In all seriousness, though, Michael Myers' bidding rights are up for sale, and there was a rumor that Disney would buy it, which in what world, I don't know.
Disney's Halloween, huh?
That would be Michael Myers. Michael Myers, a young Hispanic American looking to make it in his newfound world. His family immigrated from poverty. Woke Michael Myers But in all seriousness, there are different bidding rights for Michael Myers theme, and I think it would be kind of entertaining or funny to kind of bring it back to yes, we'll get the Hershey, trust me. But I would like to bring it back to Michael Myers. There's multiple studios that are bidding basically for the rights to it. Disney's been rumored to be up in the mix. Do you I kind of find that rumor hard to take serious, but also A24, I believe it's called, A24 has been considered to be one of the leaders for bidding too. Right now it's kind of owned by Comcast, I believe. Yeah, Comcast. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out.
Comcast representing. That's funny. You know, I'm surprised Disney's interested in Michael Myers.
I couldn't believe it when I first saw
it. Is it the character rights, or is it the rights to just Halloween in general, the franchise?
Rights to Halloween in general, basically.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do with it.
Yeah. Like, man, I feel as though at this point it's almost beating a dead horse. I mean, you had the original series of movies, then you had the Rob Zombie movies, and then you had the like new sequels that ignored about 5 of the original movies.
I know.
Yeah. And it's just like, okay, we've had like 15 or something Halloween movies. When is it enough? I mean, I love Halloween. Don't get me wrong. It's one of my favorite horror franchises, but don't do it dirty, Disney.
Yeah, I don't know how Disney could like bring themselves up to make a rated film too. Like that.
I'm skeptical what they would do with that property.
They'd make Michael Myers like, I don't know. They'd have some crazy character development. But I would like to get another topic that Auntie Buffett kind of brings up in the chat here, which is Hershey. Hershey's been getting smoked recently. And financially, it actually looks decent as a company. But it appears to be a little overpriced still. They're currently trading at $190 per share, down from pretty much a low in 2023, $275 a share. I used to own a Hershey back in my heyday, but I sold out to buy Apple. In a decent game.
Believe it or not, a kid I was in 5th grade with, his like grandparents or something, like had like a custodial account for him, and he would talk about his Hershey stock all the time. No joke.
Nobody likes a bragger.
I know. I mean, here's the crazy thing. If he even if it was like a small amount of stock, I mean, that was like 1997, 1998. If he held to today, he 10x basically.
Hershey, though, it actually is a little appealing as a company. I'll say that their free cash flow growth rates are very solid, consistent too. 5-year growth rate of 13.36%, 10-year growth rate of 9.19%. I don't know how much that's going to continue. Dividend growth rates, because dividends are everything we look for on this channel. Yeah. Very solid dividend growth.
They're free money. Didn't you hear that?
Yeah, they are free money. And they also have a really quality share buyback program that I'd like to show up here. Very good shares outstanding going down over time. So, I mean, it's definitely, I'll be honest, it's getting a little, it's getting there. I'll be honest. It's solid company.
So, I mean, I do think that they have probably the best candy brands, as a group.
Yeah.
The only company that maybe has something on them is Mars.
Yeah.
I think I don't like most Nestle candy brands, to be honest with you. But
would you consider them and Mars a duopoly over the candy?
Them, Nestle, and Mars, it's an oligopoly.
Oh yeah, Nestle too.
Although maybe Mr. Beast will overtake him with his Beast bars. But yeah, I think Hershey, if I like on the whole, like they have more candy brands that like I truly enjoy than any other. Like I like their Special Dark. Everybody likes Reese's Pieces, and if you don't, I think you're a sociopath. Kit Kats, I love Kit Kats.
But they're expanding into snacking too. They got the Skinny Pop. They got
the Skinny Pop, the Dots pretzels.
Yeah. They're
They've
expanding
got
this thing.
what are those potato chips with like? Is it a sailor or something on them?
Oh, Pirate's Booty.
Yeah, yeah. Which
Arr.
I love pirates, so they got me there. I don't really eat potato chips though, so but maybe I'll try a bag on stream next week just to
Hershey will soon be a
that's due
Coke.
diligence.
I don't know. Hershey's growth rate's better than
I mean, they actually it's funny because they're similar in that they're, you know, like they're kind of defensive, they're a staple. They have pretty predictable cash flows. They've been around for I think like well over 100 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they do have some things in common with Coca-Cola for sure. But yeah. By the way, hidden sleeper chocolate bar that Hershey's has that isn't available in every store, but they've had it forever. Fifth Avenue. Try it if you see it. And tell me how you like it.
It's free promotion. Shh.
Sponsored by Hershey, by
Did you watch One Piece? What's One Piece?
that's an anime. It's about I'm assuming he's talking about the Netflix live action, which I haven't. I haven't even seen the anime.
Yeah,
I've seen like 2 episodes.
I didn't tune into that one.
It's like 1,000 episodes, so I'm a little intimidated to like really get into it because the time investment.
Yeah, it is like puffed corn. I'm not a fan.
Okay. Clearly, I haven't looked all that carefully at the package if I didn't even see what the product was. I just know it was in like the snack aisle.
Bad due diligence.
Yeah, I'm not as good as Jeremy, man. I can't help it.
So, what price would it have to get to be? You know, you're Mr. Value.
What, Hershey?
Even you'd buy Coke. Crocs at the right value.
Croc. Well,
Hershey. What do you Hershey?
Okay, so man. You know, it's hard to say without like really doing a hard look at their financials, but everything as it is right now, 125, 130 is probably where I'd be like, oh my goodness, this is probably a deal right now.
A bargain, you could even say.
Yeah. Yeah, that's probably the level where my interest would be piqued. I can't guarantee I would buy it at that level, but I'd be like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. Dividend Dude. We're going to do another Dividend Dude call out here. He made a video going over a few companies he was talking about. We know we love comparing apples to apples on this channel.
Mm-hmm.
He talked about Lowe's. And I thought there was a little bit of, a little biased against Target. Lowe's is leveraged, I believe.
So on the face of it, I do have a little bit of an issue. Like, yes, they're both brick and mortar retail, but Lowe's sells home improvement items primarily. Target doesn't really have home furnishings. Yes, pillows and clothing and groceries, but not like lumber.
Yeah. I think more like based retail, I guess, overall.
Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty loose comparison. The best apples to apples would be Lowe's against something like Home Depot.
Yeah. We were talking about leverage, though.
Okay.
Lowe's is leveraged by it's some wild amount. And I was just asking him, like, what's the difference between a company Lowe's debt, which you're looking at, and a company? Yeah, they have. Let's look. Their debt has been increasing. They have $36 billion in debt, which is compared to like Target's $15 billion in debt. So, I mean, and their market cap is relatively the same, averaged out over the last 5 years. So,
how's the debt, like debt to like free cash flow or debt to EBITDA or whatever you want to look at? Like, does that number look better for Target?
36 billion. All right, I'm looking for Target or Lowe's.
Yeah.
Okay, Target. A lot of it's short-term store leases, but it was not from my relative. Yeah, it's 17 billion right now in debt, and cash on hand they have. Oh, wait. I'll pull the chart here. Zooming in here, we'll go 2 years. Yeah, that's cash and short-term investments. cash
Yeah.
equivalents, and then going out of debt.
All right. So, but like as a ratio compared to like their average free cash flow in terms of long-term liabilities, they're pretty close on that on if you measure it that way. That's the way like everything money measures how leveraged a company is. They compare the long-term liabilities to the average 5-year free cash flow. And I don't know if like that's necessarily the best way, but they're pretty even on that measure as far as leverage. Actually, a little bit worse for Lowe's.
Yeah, I was just wondering what Lowe's debt would probably be. So I
But
didn't look too deep
yeah.
into it.
But yeah, I don't know why if they're pretty equivalent on that or Lowe's is a little worse, why they would get a pass and Target wouldn't
Yeah,
necessarily.
that was more my question.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why myself. I mean, it's not as though Lowe's has no competition, right? They have Home Depot, who is arguably a better company.
Yeah. Home Depot is interesting though. I've been looking at Home Depot also. It's another company that I've been kind of eyeing.
Well, it's funny because I think when I've looked at both of them, almost every time Lowe's seemed like the better purchase
What
than Home Depot. I mean,
oh yeah. What give you that conclusion?
I'm pretty sure it was valuation only.
Valuation?
Yeah. Now, as a person who's shopped at these stores, I by far prefer shopping at Home Depot, but that's like the Coke and Pepsi comparison. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like you could literally just burn all the Pepsi in existence, and I would be perfectly fine with that. But if it came to having to choose one company to invest in, all else equal, I'd probably have to assume Pepsi is the better business to invest in.
Yeah.
And I prefer shopping at Home Depot, but I seem to remember the valuation on Lowe's being more attractive. And I can't recall if the growth numbers looked better on Lowe's or not, but
yeah. So I have I kind of want to recap it. If anybody has any last comments or questions for us, we have about 5-6 minutes left. I mentioned in my video today a company that I was also potentially considering trimming was Johnson and Johnson, and it kind of just comes down to opportunity cost again. Like it's not going anywhere. Obviously, it's a staple of a company, but at the same time, 30, 40 years, I think there's other places I could put my money that are better.
that could be true.
But at the same time, don't want to sell out at the bottom. You know what I mean?
I wonder. People probably buy J&J for the safety, the lack of volatility, the fact that they do focus a lot on adding shareholder value. Do we consider J&J a moat?
They did just spin off their Kenvue company, so I mean, what kind of what business would be giving them a moat over? Because they have multiple segments.
I mean, maybe consumer staples, potentially.
Yeah, I guess definitely. Oh, I mean, Band-Aid. Ooh, this is a good comment. With more civil unrest in the future, are you buying more SWBI?
So, I've got a pretty good amount of SWBI. I'm not like if it dipped back down to like maybe 1250 or below, I'd probably be looking to grab some more. But for the moment, I'm happy having it at like 3% or whatever it is. I think that's plenty. And yeah, I mean, Morningstar rates J&J a moat, by the way. So
They do. Okay.
Yeah, wide moat, as a matter of fact.
I'm not looking at SWBI.
Not looking at SWBI. What do we have against the Second Amendment, Ryan?
Nothing. There's nothing wrong with our Second Amendment whatsoever. Shopify. Ooh, that's interesting.
From my cold dead hands.
I hate to give out any more spoilers on here, but since we are live, I have been looking at possibly starting a Dividend Stocks Not Drugs merch, and I've been looking at different websites to possibly branch it on. Shopify was one of them. But I'm looking more Teespring. That's the. I just want to make sure it's quality. Like, the fans don't order a T-shirt for $20 and get some. Let's go out in public. Wearing some flimsy T-shirt.
Yeah, you don't want a half-ass flimsy T-shirt. That's for sure.
Yeah, some Mr. Beast stuff.
I don't know. Shopify.
I'm not looking at it.
Seems a little rich and not very profitable. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, okay, what is Shopify doing that some other company isn't already doing, and how do they become profitable?
Best go-to thing for small business, I'd say, wouldn't Etsy? Wouldn't that be up there too?
Oh, if you wanted to just sell stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but that's the thing. You can sell stuff on Etsy. You can sell stuff on Amazon.
eBay.
You can set up eBay. You can set up your own website. Do do your own, fulfillment and stuff, and just do like a checkout with PayPal or, one of their unbranded checkout services. You don't what do you need Shopify for?
Yeah. All right. Well, fellas, we appreciate the viewership tonight. We went a little short tonight. I have to hop out here real quick. We went over last time, so we're averaging out for you guys. We're averaging out.
Remember, it's about the long term, not about any 1 week.
Yeah, we do greatly appreciate the viewership. We did a really strong tonight. We pretty much averaged 12 to 15 viewers throughout, which is it's a PR, you could even say.
Yeah, there's people with a couple thousand subscribers that don't get that many live,
Yeah.
So
we may not be the biggest dogs, but we do got some bark in us.
We punch above our weight class to give a boxing reference.
Yeah, we go for the heavyweights. We're lightweight. Well, indeed, Fiscal, obviously, where can the people find you once again? Links in the description.
Links in the description. That's always the answer.
Yeah.
And it's never going to change.
Yeah. Girls come and go. Links in description always stay the same.
Exactly. Remember, a hero only dies once. A coward dies many times throughout his life.
Thank you all. Do dividend stocks, not drugs. And remember, cash flow is king, baby.
Yeah. Woo!